Hello, hello. This is Coach Dunbar with TBD Coaching and Training. I am the lead instructor of our Ideas to Income webinar. This is about turning your knowledge into profits. So thanks for checking this out, taking a look at what we're doing. We know that right before the pandemic, during the pandemic, everyone started creating courses, looking for a way to create the knowledge economy and put yourself in a place where you can sell what you know, right? You've learned some things over time, experience or education because you went and got a formal education. So no matter how you've got the information in your head, we are here to show you how to get it out of your head. And we started a couple of years ago with a program called Passion to Platform to Profit. And this is the advanced level of that now. We've got a program called Ideas to Income, Turn Your Knowledge into Profits, right? This is about crafting a compelling course you can sell. It's one thing to have a course, right? Whether it's semi-evergreen or you're just doing it live. It's another thing to have a course that you can sell. So it's really important to understand that the different things that you need to do. And what we have created is we have created a 10-week program to show you how to craft a compelling course you can sell. And what we're going to do here is we're going to talk a little bit about how you can get enrolled into that program. I believe right now there is a special where you can get into the program for, I believe, $297. The original cost is $497, and it is 10 weeks at 90 minutes a week that will get you in a position to have a course that you can market for whatever the market cost is for that course. So we're going to talk about adding value. We're going to talk about the 4 validation steps you need to create that course. We're also going to talk a little bit about blue ocean strategy and some different ideas you can put together to help you create a course, right? Craft a compelling course. I'm gonna leave a couple of exercises for you to do here. I believe 2 exercises I have for you today. One would be for you to create a transitional statement, right? Something that you can use to say, hey, this is what I do for the customers who buy my course. When they buy my course, they transition into a different person based on what I market in this program. Right. So we're looking for a specific target audience. So we're going to create a transitional statement, and we're also going to get you to understand what kind of course it is that you can put together based on what you know, what your knowledge is, what your experience is, what are your unique strengths. We're going to have all of that happen here right within this webinar. We're going to look to get through this webinar as quick as we can. And of course, there'll be a link where you can download the actual slides from this webinar. And there'll also be a couple of QR codes at the end of this webinar that you can scan and go ahead and pay for the program, the 10-week program. If you're excited as I am and you're saying, hey, I want to jump ahead and go ahead and get the program ahead of time, you can move this video ahead, scan those codes, go ahead and make your payment for your class so that you start along that program, that coaching program, and then you can go back and look at the webinar afterwards if you choose to. But for those that want to hear this information before you make a decision, this is what we're going to do right now, right here for you. So again, I am the lead instructor, Coach Dunbar, of this program through TBD Coaching, the power of coaching. This is turning your knowledge into profits with the Ideas to Income, crafting a compelling course you can sell, a program that we have here. So we're going to flip through some slides here, kind of more of a slide presentation to get you in a place where you can understand everything that we're talking about here. So now you may have clicked on this video on YouTube. You may have gotten an email from Coach Dunbar talking about, not Coach Dunbar, but Ava Miller, which is our executive assistant. She may have sent you an email telling you that, hey, check this out, take a look at it, so that you don't waste your time. Here are a couple of questions that you can use to qualify yourself. Should you be here? Should you be looking at this webinar right now to find out whether you want to earn income passively by creating a course that you can sell? So here's a couple of qualifying questions for you. Do you have expertise that you are passionate about sharing, right? Something that you are an expert in, that you feel like you have a unique strength in, that you would like to share with the world, and you can earn income doing it. Second question, do you dream of creating passive income? right? We hear it all the time. Passive income streams, residual income. Are you dreaming of having that passive income? If you are, this is a way that you can do it. Next question. Do you desire the freedom to work from anywhere? When my daughter was pregnant 5 years ago and had my granddaughter, her mom had just landed a new job in Tallahassee, Florida, so she could not go up to assist our daughter with her pregnancy. So because my family lives in the same city and state, Buffalo, New York, that my daughter is in right now, I was able to go up to Buffalo, New York, stay with my mom for 30 days and help my daughter as she had the baby, got things together for the baby. So now I had 30 days of having my grandbaby in my life right from the beginning. And guess what? I was able to do that by just packing up some equipment, going up to Buffalo, New York, and working from there. That is the freedom that I'm talking about. There was a day and time where you could just put any course together, just take everything out your head, throw it into a course, put it on a platform, push it out, market it to people, and people will buy it. They were just buying information, right? And what I call buying information is creating a course that's Googleable, right? I'm selling you something that you can get on Google. I'm selling you something that you can get right on YouTube. What we want to do here is we want you to create a course that has transformation, a transformational course that somebody can buy and go from zero to hero, rags to riches, right? Problem to solution. We want it to be transformative, and that's what we're showing you how to do here with this webinar, and that's what the 10-week coaching program will show you how to do as well. So if you've created a course before, you saying, I took a class like this before, I've been in a webinar like this before, I went to YouTube, I went to Google, I learned how to do it, I went to some platform and learned how to create a course. My question to you is, how many hours did you spend doing that? If you've ever spent hours, days, weeks, months creating a course only for it to flop, then you know how that feels. Nobody bought the course because what you were selling, nobody was buying, right? What you were selling, nobody was buying. You thought it was a great idea. You thought it was a great topic, but nobody was interested in buying it at that time because you did no research. You didn't interview any potential clients. You didn't do any due diligence of what we call human validation to make sure that a human would want to buy your product, right? You need to know that somebody is interested in the solution that you're giving with your course. And that's what we're doing here. We're showing you how to set that up. And this is going to be brief, right? We're not going to give it all to you because there'll be no reason for you to allow us to help you over 10 weeks create this course, right? And remember what I said the price points were for that 10 weeks. You're talking about a special of $297, but the actual price without a discount is only $497. You're talking about $500 that put you in a place that you can sell a course at a minimum of $500. At a minimum. Now, you can sell your course for whatever you want, but we would tell you selling your course at $497 or higher is probably where you want to be. Think about that. If you had a $997 course and you sold 10 courses a month, right? You're not doing them, they're evergreen, right? They're semi-evergreen. That would be $10,000 a month. If you had a $497 course that you were selling and you sold 10, that would be $5,000 a month. If you sold 20, that would be $10,000 a month. So ask yourself whether that semi-evergreen income will be beneficial to your household. So the fear of selling your course, of not selling your course is real. There are people who spend those countless hours and they hear crickets. They hear crickets. So believe me, the fear of not selling your course is definitely there. I have created 4 courses over the last 10 to 15 years that did not sell. And it is not a good feeling. I then had to break those courses up and repurpose that material to do something else with it because I did not do my due diligence. I did not do my internal validation. I did not do my external validation. I did not do my database validation. I did not do my human validation to make sure that everything was in place to be able to monitor that course. And if you don't know what I'm talking about with those 4 steps of validation, guess what? That's another reason why you should be here because we're going to talk about that. So you heard me mention Googleable course topics versus transformational course topics, right? So let's break those down, right? On the left-hand side, we got Googleable course topics, which just means this is a course that somebody may put together. And yeah, you can sell it. It's sellable, but you're probably going to end up selling it at a low price point. Plus, you're only going to be able to sell a course like this if people already know you're the renowned expert, right? I'm the renowned expert in Microsoft. Everybody knows that I know everything about Microsoft, so people are going to buy this course. Or you may already have a huge, massive email list that you can send this out to. And if you're selling this course at $69 and you sell 100 of them, now you're talking about $69 times 100, because a lot of people already know that you know everything about Microsoft Excel. So you can do that. But guess what? What if you're that person that says, I don't have an email list. I don't have a client list already. I'm not an influencer, right? I don't have a group of people following that are ready to buy what I'm selling. We are going to show you during that 10-week process. We're going to show you how we're going to do it in this webinar. But in that 10-week coaching program that you're going to be in, and this is not a group program, this is you and me on a Zoom for 90 minutes for 10 weeks, putting together this course that you can sell. And we are going to help you build it, but also show you how you can market it when you don't already have an audience. So how to use Microsoft Excel, understanding climate change, learning to speak speak Spanish in 30 days. Come on, guys. Those are things that we can get online at no cost. Does that mean you can't sell that course? No, it doesn't mean that, but it would definitely be a more difficult time selling it, and you're going to sell it at a lower price point. It's not going to be a lot of people that can sell a course on learning to speak Spanish in 30 days for $497. Now, what if I was selling a transformational course topic, and instead of it being learn to speak Spanish in 30 days, it was learn to speak Spanish in 90 days, and I was marketing this program to people who are looking to move to a Spanish-speaking country, and they were going to be employed there. So my target market is now an individual who is moving to a South American country, a Spanish-speaking country, and they needed to learn Spanish within the next 90 days fluently so that they can live in a Spanish-speaking country. If that was my course and that was my clientele, I've now niched it down. I've made it transformational for that person. And now I'm looking at a smaller target market, and I can do what? Charge more for that course. Sense of urgency, you need to do it in 90 days. I'm going to transform you so you can go get this new job. I can probably sell a course like that for maybe $14.97, depending on what area I'm selling it in and what the sense of urgency is and what I've put into it. So the transformational course topics will certainly sell more. You're marketing to a smaller niche, which is going to be very important. So let's jump to the right side, the transformational side. Transform your relationship with money, right? That's a great transformational course. Postpartum weight management for women over 40 versus just weight management. What are we doing now? We are doing weight management for women who are trying to lose the fat that they gained from a pregnancy, but only for women over 40 years old. Now we're niching down that topic, right? We're niching down that topic some. So it's a better opportunity for us to sell more, at a higher ticket, right? And our audience probably has more money because I've already put the numbers in. Women over 40 who have a child are typically in a more stable financial situation than a 25-year-old that has a child, who just had a child, I should say, not who has a child. So if you look at those numbers, I'm now marketing to a 40-year-old who is probably married, who has been working for a lot longer than a 25-year-old and has herself a little bit more established than a 25-year-old that may not be married yet, that may still be in school getting an education, right? That does not have the same amount of income as that 40-year-old female. So I don't know why the numbers land the way they do, but statistically, a 40-year-old woman having a child is normally more stable than a 25-year-old having a child. What does that mean? That means that my target audience now has more money, which means I can have a higher ticket product that I can sell. So that transformational course topic is going to be a big deal. Overcome the fear of public speaking, another transformational course topic. And I am not saying use these topics. I'm not suggesting that you use these topics. I just want you to know the difference between a transformational course topic and something that's Googleable that you may not be able to sell it for as much because people can get this information online anyway, right? So, talking about transformation, one of my favorite authors, one of my favorite business gurus, Michael E. Gerber, who authored the book, The E Myth. And if you haven't picked up The E Myth, I promise you, you need to get this book. If you have not read E Myth Revisited, you need to get that book. If you have not followed Michael Gerber on YouTube and looked at some of the public speaking engagements he's done and the conversation he is having, you need to, because he is a foreknown expert in business. He talks a lot about business. He started late in life with business, but I got a lot of great information. Why did I bring him up? One, something that's very important to understand about you as a business owner, right? If you don't already own a business, once you start selling courses, that is some form of self-employment business ownership. He made a statement that was really important. He didn't create the statement, but he made the statement in his book about most business owners are just employees who had an entrepreneurial seizure. Really important statement, because a lot of people go into business, they go and create a course without doing their homework because they get excited and they're like, oh, I'm gonna put together a course because I see people selling courses. I'm gonna do a course on AI because that's trendy. And I know that if I get to do a course on AI, I can sell it. But they have no business experience. They don't do any human validation to see whether somebody wants to do this course right now. They haven't done any internal validation to make sure that they knew enough about the subject. They haven't done any external validation to check and see what the market share looks like in that space and whether they need to niche down their training on AI, because it may be a lot of people doing just general AI training and maybe they need to move into another space on their target market. And they have not done any data-based validation saying, hey, let me go and pull the numbers. Let me look and see whether I need to adjust the way I'm doing my AI training, because AI training is popular, but it's so popular that I can't make a sale. So let me niche it down. So all of those are going to be important to do as a business owner. So don't have an entrepreneurial seizure, get excited about creating a course and let somebody tell you create a course and you don't really understand how to create a course that sells. That is why you're here today with TBD Coaching, so you can find out how to do that through our Ideas to Income program. So the E-Myth Revisited, author states, and this is more to the transformational idea of selling a product that's going to change a person, right? Nobody is interested in the commodity. People buy feelings. And as the world becomes more and more complex and the commodities more varied, the feelings we want become more urgent, less rational, and more unconscious. How your business anticipates those feelings and satisfies them is your product. So having a transformational course that will attach to a person's hurt, attach to a person's excitement, attach to a person's feelings, emotions, will be a sale that probably won't end in a refund. A sale that probably won't end in a bad review, which you'll see me talking about here in this webinar coming up here in a few minutes. So Michael E. Gerber, E-Myth Revisited author, pick that book up. So we talked a little bit about some of the challenges you can have when you don't go about creating a course that can sell because you haven't done those 4 validation steps. So this is the solution. We'll eliminate that fear today by letting you know what those 4 validation steps are. I'm going to dive deep into step 1. Just step 1. The other 3 steps, I'm going to mention to you what they are, let you know what they mean, but the deep dive, the exercise is going to be only under validation 1, which is going to be internal validation. So hope you guys ready, strap in. We're ready to rescue this idea that you have of creating a course. That's what we're going to do here. We're going to rescue that idea. So we're tackling the fear head on of creating a course that when you open and release it, it does nothing but crickets, right? Huge fear for people who have the knowledge but don't want to move forward with that process. So validating your idea before you invest time, before you invest energy, and before you invest money is a big, big, big opportunity to have a course that does well and is successful. So pre-sale method, pre-sale. That's what you want to do. You want to pre-sale the outline of this course because it'll allow you to better your ideas on a course before you release it. Plus, it allows you to have some extra income to do things like pay for your platform, pay for marketing if you want to, pay for some coaching or some mentorship while you're creating that course. Do your investigation and human validation the way you need to, buying coffee if you're meeting with people. Expenses that need to be covered while you're covering your course, while you're creating your course, crafting your course. If you're pre-selling the course, it gives you the ability to use money that you've already made on a course as you make this course unique, as you niche it down, as you make it so that it's a top-selling popular course. That's what you want to be able to do. So I told you I'm Coach Dunbar. I told you that TBD Coaching and Training is the company who put together this wonderful webinar for you to craft a compelling course that you can sell. But just to know a little bit about our story, we have been assisting our clients create courses for over 10 years before the pandemic created all these course creators, right? Before the pandemic created all these coaches who call themselves coaching coaches who've been coaching longer than them, right? Say that 3 times. So this is about understanding who shows you how to create this course is going to play a huge part in how successful that course is when you go to launch it. Also, how successful it is when you're talking about doing those pre-sales. So let's take a look at 2 testimonials real quick. Again, we're not going to dive deep into these testimonials. I just want you to see them just so you understand how the program can help in that move forward, right? In that movement forward of you crafting this course that sells. So a game changer for aspiring course creators. So Scott L., who is a life coach and a trainer, wrote, Coach Dunbar's course creation coaching was a game changer. The step-by-step validation process that we cover in here today ensured my course idea was spot on before I invested time and resources. I'm now seeing sales come in weekly. And sometimes Scott L sells 2 or 3 of his courses a week. He only has 2 right now, but he sells 2 or 3 of those courses to people a week. So he's making some good income without having to go out and train and coach people, because it is a semi-evergreen course, which means that it's a DIY. They can go on into his platform and they can look at the videos and take the training and do the exercises and download the videos and download the PDFs and do whatever it is that Scott is asking them to do. I highly recommend it to anyone serious about developing online courses. So let's take a look at another client, Lacey T. This is the young lady who is doing the postpartum weight management course, right? So transforming my passion into profit. I've always wanted to share my expertise, but didn't know where to start. The idea to income coaching program assisted me in narrowing my focus to a more niche training program. And just so you know, because somebody asked me when I did this training live, no, that is not Lacey T. That's just a picture that we use to point to testimonials. So no, that is not Lacey T. So I've always wanted to share my expertise, but didn't know where to start. Is that you? Is that you wanting to share your expertise, but don't know how to create a compelling course that'll sell? The idea to income coaching program assisted me in narrowing my focus, right? We helped her build a niche. She went from a weight management course to a postpartum weight management course, which put her in a better position to offer this to women over 40 that had a baby and not necessarily had the baby after they were 40. They may have had the baby at 35, 36, 37, somewhere in there, but they still had body fat from having that baby. And after 40, they were looking to get rid of it. And it's harder to get rid of weight after 40 than it is, especially when you're 25, right? And I know it's not easy no matter what age, but it's definitely easier at 25 than it is at 40. So this is why Lacey created this course, and we helped her narrow it down and niche down that weight management to postpartum weight management for women over 40, right? So now I'm not only teaching online, but I also develop an evergreen course that pays me without me having to do a training. Huge, right? And that's what I mean by semi. And I'm saying semi-evergreen because sometimes you need to go in there and update, or you may do like I do and give your clients 30-minute consultation. I do 3 30-minute consultations when you buy a program from me. So it's not really totally evergreen, full evergreen, because I'm doing those 3 30-minute consultations, which is taking 90 minutes of my time. So this slide here is really just to introduce you to what it is that we do. On the left-hand side, you see all of our coaching services. On the right-hand side, you see our business and our training experience. But again, you can take a look at this slide when you download the actual slide presentation. If you want to see all the different programs that we teach, those are our most popular programs on the left, and just some statistics on some of the coaching and training we've done virtually and live in the history of our company. So let's talk about the freedom formula concept, which is the idea of being able to have your 9-to-5 job, run your business, spend time with your family, but still have income coming in, even if you're not doing what you do for a living to create that income. So some people own a business, but they also have a full-time job. So if you're at your full-time job, but you're still earning, right, $497, $997, $1,497 while you're at your 9-to-5, that's huge. What about while you're asleep? What about when somebody buys your course that's 14 hours time difference from you, and they're buying your course because it's in their language, and they're buying it while you're sleeping, and they buy your $497 course? What happens if you sell two? You made a little bit less than $1,000 while you were sleeping. So the freedom formula is about creating this so that you can market it and sell it semi-evergreen and not always be a part of the process when they're buying it and DIYing that actual course that you've helped them create, right? That you're helping them through that transformation because you've created a course that's transformational. So while they're going through their transformation period, through the information that you've given them in your course, you could be asleep, you could be at your job, you could be running another business, or you could be running the business, right, that created the course, but you're not hands-on with that client. So hopefully that makes sense for you. So validate demand early by getting a prototype course to the market pretty quickly. All right. So the outline, a prototype course, having some free training available weekly that will cover things that are in that course so you can get an idea of what it is that people are looking for and what's really going to help them. And you're going to get the real information when you do your human validation process and you're sitting down with people, either person to person, physically, right, face to face, or virtually doing it through Zoom. We're going to talk a little bit about that, not a deep dive, but a little bit about that near the end of the webinar. So how do you benefit from this freedom formula concept that we've created? One, you attain real clientele to avoid bad reviews and refund requests, right, which we call chargebacks. You also gain social proof, right? So also known as informational social influence. So when you're following the freedom formula concept, you are going to gain that social proof by having weekly training events, right, online, where you're talking about that subject, maybe a 30-minute training and a 15-minute Q&A. That's gaining social proof. Going on social media, going inside groups and talking to people inside groups, right, that you can interview and now get information on how you can help them solve that problem that you solved, that transformational course that you're putting together to solve that problem that some humans are dealing with, right? And develop a sustainable business model, not a one-hit wonder course, right? Something that pays you one time. We don't want that one-hit wonder course. We want to create more courses, and we want to have a course that when we launch it makes us a crap load of money. And then also when we're going through the weeks and months and years, we can continue selling that in that semi-evergreen way right off the shelf. Remember, this is now intellectual property that you own once you create that course. So every course you create, it is now a piece of your intellectual property. It is a piece of your company branding when you do that. So let's talk about that roadmap, right? The roadmap to a profitable course. The roadmap to a profitable course. So step 1 through 4, internal validation. I've already mentioned this several times. 2, external validation. 3, data-based validation. And 4, which is the most important validation process, the human validation process, right? So how do we do that? Let's take a look at some explanation of those so that makes a little bit more sense. And I know I have slightly explained them, but it might help you having a visual of it at the exact same time. So internal validation is what? Teaching from your unique strengths. I went to school to be a phys ed teacher, not really me, but I'm using this as an example. I then took a nutritionist course and a personal training course, and I'm in the personal training and fitness. And I have a unique strength of helping people at a certain weight level move down to another weight level. That is going to be a unique strength. What about experience? Well, guess what? With those credentials, I could create a course. But what happens if I'm the person that went from 300 pounds to 175 pounds? That experience that I have, my before and after pictures, my journey, my story is going to help sell that course. So the internal validation is internally, do you have a unique strength? Do you have a story? Do you have an experience that you can use? You do not want to copy somebody else's experience, and you want to create your own. That's the idea of the internal validation. So you can't say, hey, guess what? I see people are training on AI. Let me go do an AI course, even though I am not versed in AI. I did not go to school for AI. I do not use AI regularly. I do not have a unique strength. I don't have an experience with it, but I'm going to copy the trend. That's not internal validation. So you want to follow the internal validation. That's the first step. The second step is external validation, which is, this is a mindset shift. This is you saying, let me grasp the idea that competition is a good thing. I need to be in a space where there is competition. There are other people selling, because what does that do? It proves that there's demand. It proves that there's demand. So is there a demand for weight management? Of course there is. Is there a demand for AI training? Of course there is. Is there a demand for learning different languages? Of course there are. You have to look internally on what you want to train, and then say, now I need to look into the market and see externally, is there a market for what I'm training? But then we've got to do our database validation and say, hey, the numbers support my idea. This is a great idea to train on weight management. On weight management, right? This is a great idea. Weight management is a popular topic, but there's so many people doing weight management. Maybe I need to talk about something a little bit more niche down. How about I do postpartum for women over 40? So use the data to confirm your demand, right? There is a demand for this, but maybe I need to niche it down, right? AI, there's a demand for AI, but you can't go out there and just train a general AI course, because there's too many people like Billy Jean who's doing it, who has a huge following and has proven that he understands AI, understands the experience. And there's a ton of other people. But Billy Jean comes to mind first because I get so many emails from him about AI. And he was one of the first people I saw talking about AI on a serious, you can earn money doing it deal. So Billy Jean, being who he is, he's an expert. He has a huge following. He has social proof. So a guy like Billy Jean training on AI, you can't now say, I'm going to copy what he's doing, when you don't have the experience, you don't have the following, and you don't have any unique strength in that space. You say, hey, let me niche this down. Let me learn some specific things about AI in a particular category. Let me focus on that. Let me learn that. Let me get all the information I need to get to really understand it and become an expert in it. And then let me create a course on that, if that's what you wanted to do. So database validation is you saying, hey, the numbers, generally speaking, will really help me, but I need to niche this down. And this is what the blue ocean strategy is all about. So I'm going to mention the blue ocean strategy in the next few slides. So you're going to physically see it. You'll see the book, and you will see a little bit about red ocean strategy versus blue ocean strategy, which it will help you understand a little bit more about the database validation and the internal validation when it comes to these different topics. So lastly, the most important validation is going to be your human validation, which is talk to potential clients to understand their struggles and their desires. This builds a hyper targeted audience. That's why this is so important, because if you don't already have a following, you want to use this method to create potential clients and to critique your program, course correct your program so that it fits the needs of the people that you're looking to market it to. That is how you make your sales. And that's how you get yourself in a position where you're making sales that don't end in a refund, making sales that don't end in a bad review. So you want to make sure that you're doing that human validation, because even though it's the fourth step, it is the most important step in this four-step process of validation. So make sure that you understand that. Make sure that you understand that there's going to be some time and energy that you're going to have to put into going into Facebook or social media, getting in groups and talking to people and saying, can I do an interview with you? Because I see that you're dealing with an issue that I have a solution for. I'm not going to charge you. I just want to have a conversation with you to find out if you would buy any kind of product that would do a specific thing. And if not, what are you looking for in a product? So I know how to critique my course that I'm creating. So you're going to have that conversation with that person. And if you do, I don't know, somewhere between 35 and 70 interviews with people, that will help you create a much, much, much better product. So Blue Ocean Strategy, which is more of a marketing. This is how we choosing our topic, narrowing down our topic, right? This book is written by, and I cannot say Renee's last name, so just read it on the screen. But the book was written by W. Chan Kim, and Renee. And they have several books. They've authored several books, so you can pull them up, take a look at what they have out there. But the Blue Ocean Strategy is a great read, even if you're not going to create a course. This is not about creating a course. Blue Ocean Strategy is a book that you should be reading if you're in business and you're marketing, because you see, right? And I would say pick up the expanded edition, but you see what the subtitle is: How to Create Uncontested Market Space and Make Competition Irrelevant. And that's what every business owner should be looking to do. Blue Ocean Strategy will allow you to do that. So let's take a look at that strategy, where the Blue Ocean Strategy is versus the Red Ocean Strategy, and see how this all comes together. So you see on the Red Ocean Strategy, you're basically swimming with sharks, right? Right, to give you an analogy, right? Or a metaphor of some sort. Red Ocean Strategy is you are competing in an existing market space. So you say, I'm going to train on weight management. I'm going to do a course on AI. Well, that's a huge existing market space. So now you got to beat the competition there, which you see is line item 2. And line item 3, you have to exploit existing demand for this product, because everybody wants to know about AI. So if you're teaching a general artificial intelligence course, man, look, so many people out there doing that in that market space. You got to beat all this competition, and you have to exploit the existing demand. But let's look at the Blue Ocean side, where it's creating an uncontested market space. So you say, hey, you know what? Want to do something on weight loss, but it's a huge market. How do I create an uncontested market space? Well, maybe I should say not just weight management, but postpartum weight management, but not just postpartum weight management for women over the age of 40. Now I've created an uncontested market space, maybe. Now, you'd have to do your homework on that, but I'm giving you an example. Now, obviously, I know that that works because we did that with Lacey. But if it wasn't for us doing that with Lacey, we wouldn't have the numbers to support that. But we know that those numbers created an uncontested market space, and it also made the competition irrelevant, which was the general weight management competition. So the weight management industry was no longer competition for it. It was irrelevant because we moved into we helped Lacey move into the postpartum women over 40. Which made the general weight management field a little irrelevant. And then we created and captured new demand. And how do we create and capture new demand? By doing the interviews, showing her how to do the interview, showing her what questions to ask, showing her where to go to get this information. And that's what you're getting with the 10-week program that we offer for $497. That's discounted at $297. You're getting that coaching, you're getting that assistance to make sure that you can get those things done. So this is why we go internal first. We go internal first so we can use that Blue Ocean Strategy to really help us move forward. So think about that. That's the first step. Going internal, then external, then database, then human. But remember, even though we're going internal first, human validation is the most important step that you're going to want to take. So now let's look at some internal validation prompts. And obviously, you're looking at this video, you're going to want to pause this video and ask yourself these questions so that you can start with this internal validation prompt segment of, this is how I find out what it is that I can put together in a course. What kind of course should you put together? If you're asking that question, what can I teach on? What am I expert on? What do I have a unique strength in? This will help you do that. So that's why we added this exercise to this webinar. And of course, when I did the live webinar, we did it right in break rooms and all of that kind of stuff. But if you're looking at this video, Afterwards, you are now looking at a video that's just going to say, hey, just pause this video and go ahead and answer those questions. And we've got more questions on the next slide. So just know that ahead of time, you can move this video up, 2 seconds and look at 3 more questions. But let me go back and read those questions off real quickly. And then I'm gonna move on to the next step, because of course this is a video and you can pause it and do your exercise and get better at understanding what kind of course you want to get put together. So now when you reach out to us and say, hey, I'm ready to do this program, you have an idea. Now we're gonna walk you through some more steps to help you really get a clean focus, niche down, narrow down like we did with Lacey, so that you have something that we know can sell. We're going to do that database validation process so that we know that the data supports what you want to do. The demand supports what you want to teach your course on. So internal validation prompts: a challenge or hurdle you ever overcome. That's a question you can ask yourself. I would ask myself all of them. Have you transformed a part of your business? Right? Have you had to transform a part of your business if you have one? That's if applicable. Maybe you don't own a business yet. Right? Well, how about personal? How you have transformed a part of yourself or your life? And if you have made a transformation, have you done the same for someone else? Question I would ask myself, right? What do most people often ask you for help with? And what mistakes or frustrations you wish you could prevent others from experiencing, right? I know there's been some mistakes, some frustrations that you've had that you're saying, man, I don't want anybody else to have to go through what I went through. So you can teach that in a course, and you can do it live. And then you can also do it evergreen, where people can just buy it and DIY that bad boy. So 3 more questions. Who are your favorite clients, if applicable? Maybe you don't have clients right now, right? What are your favorite clients' results, if applicable, right? So maybe you're a counselor, maybe you're a therapist, maybe you're a coach, maybe you're a consultant, right? My question would be, as a consultant, as a mentor, as a coach, as a therapist, what have you helped people through, right? What are your favorite clients' results? Because maybe that's what you should be doing a course on so that you can get better. Last question: methods and or strategies that you repeat often. Clues to your curriculum, right? Clues to your curriculum. That is, right, your seasoning right there. That's your seasoning. Methods and or strategies that you repeat often, because you probably have a unique strength there. You probably have great experience there. So do that. So what I'm going to ask you to do is, because the exercises are so very important, I'm going to move forward. But because you're looking at a video, I'm going to ask you to pause this video and answer those questions so that you put into your head how you can really have a transformational impact on the lives of the people who purchase your course, whether it's live or whether it's a semi-evergreen course, right? So in this internal validation process, let's look at the outcome focus. What is the outcome focus, right? Because remember, we said we're looking to transition people. So let's look at the outcome focus. Sell the transformation, not the information. That's what we're doing. This goes all the way back to our original conversation about the freedom formula. You're selling transformation, not information. So people do not buy info, they buy results. What change will your course create? That's what I need you to focus on. What change will your course create, right? So now we're going to craft a transformation statement, right? So I want you to fill in the blank template below. And again, this is going to be an opportunity for you to pause this video. I'm going to read through it so that you understand what it is, but I would suggest you pause and put together your transformation statement, because you have to have a unique selling proposition. What is your program going to do to transform the client to buy it, right? So crafting your transformation statement. I help blank, target audience, who you're going to help, go from 0 to hero, or current state to desired state, right? Current state to desired state, so that they can achieve a specific outcome. Let me say that again. I help my target audience go from the state that they're in to the transformative state that they want to be at, so that they can achieve a specific outcome. So let's look at an example of how that would play out. I help overwhelmed moms go from chaos to calm so they can enjoy motherhood again. You see how that plays out? That's the example. So what I want you to do is go ahead and pause the video so that you can create your transformational statement. And when you get with us, we can help you critique it. But if you don't get with us, you don't buy into our program, then you've created it on your own and you have it so you can move forward there. Plus, you've already done your internal validation and decided, hey, this is something that I could coach on. I could create a course on that would sell because I've now asked myself the internal validation questions. Does that make sense? All right. So lastly, I'm going to go over these last three again, because remember, I said I'm only going to deep dive into an internal validation, only the first one, right? That's what the 10 weeks are for us to get right down and dirty into these different 4 validation steps. So the first one we did a deep dive, and I thought that was fair. Now I'm just going to touch these again so that you know they exist. So we did the internal validation. We have looked into ourselves to find our unique strength. We have looked into ourselves to find our experiences. And now we're saying, I'm not going to copy what somebody else is doing. I'm not going to do AI because it's popular. I'm not going to do weight management because it's popular. I am going to create by asking myself these questions. And then I'm going to create my unique selling proposition or my transformation statement by doing exactly what I showed you on the last slide. Now, the next step is going to be for you to go into this external validation, which means you're shifting your mind and saying, okay, I chose weight management. I chose weight management as a topic, but now I need to say, okay, there's demand for it. Let me do a little bit of research. Is there demand? Yes, there's a demand. And I know that other people are selling it, but competition is good. That means that there is demand for this. Now I'm going into the database validation and I'm saying, okay, now I know that the numbers support my idea. I know that it's a $1 billion industry. I know that now that the numbers support this weight management situation, but now I have to say, what about me dumbing this down a little bit, right? So I can say, let me niche this down. So yeah, I'm in this space still, but let me go a little bit beneath the surface and say, let me niche this down so I can stay in this huger topic, right? This wider topic, but let me go under the surface a little bit and say, let me tap into a unique target audience that is within the bigger scope of weight management. Because there are some people who have a little bit of a niche down a problem they're trying to solve. Because weight management may say, hey, let me show you how to lose weight. But it might be a little bit more difficult losing baby fat after 40 years old. And baby fat not meaning their baby fat, but baby fat from having a child. That postpartum weight loss may be a category that deserves a little bit more attention. So the database validation is, hey, the numbers support my idea. I do not let the numbers discourage me. I use this data to confirm my demand, but then I'm going to still say, hey, let me dumb this down. And how are we going to dumb this down? How are we going to find out how to niche this down and really get our clients to transform by taking our program? We're going to do the most important validation step, which is the human validation. Now we're going to go and we're going to get potential clients from social media, potential clients that may be family members that we already have, potential clients that may be friends we already have, potential clients that may live in our neighborhood, right? Potential clients, and we're going to sit down with those clients via Zoom or in person and say, look, I see that you're going through something that I'm creating a course to solve. What I would like to know from you is if you bought into a course like this, what would you expect it to do? What would you expect to see? What kind of results are you looking for? What kind of courses have you taken already that did not solve that problem? What kind of YouTube videos have you looked at that were not helpful versus that were helpful? Have you seen a therapist? Which ones were the most helpful? What exercises have you done to help you with this situation? And which ones were more effective? These are questions that I'm asking to build this hyper targeted audience so I know what my numbers can be. And now I can look and say, this is a course that I can sell for $1,000, right? $997. And I know that there is a decent sized market for it, but not a whole lot of people selling. So now I'm looking, right? And how do I know that? Because I did step 3, which is my database validation. I have went online and looked and said, okay, so who's the experts in this space? Right? I've done that in database validation. I went and said, let me go to YouTube and pull this topic up and see how many people, how many YouTube videos there are. Who are the author? I mean, who are the video creators? Is there any books on this? I'm going to Amazon. I'm checking for books. I'm going to Audible. I'm checking for books. Who's the renowned expert in postpartum weight loss for women over 40? Who's talking about this? Has it been on any talk shows? What's the views on the videos? Is there a quorum on this? I'm going to forums and saying, is this question being asked a lot? Because I want to know all the data before I get into this hyper-targeted audience. I want to know who is getting the best, who's the best influencer in this space, and I'm gonna follow that person. What are they saying? What's getting the most likes? What's getting hearted the most on their social media? When they made this statement, why was this statement so impactful and transformational in this particular space that I'm going into, so that I know what things I need to do, how I need to course correct what I'm putting together on my course. And this is what we are here to help you do as TBD coaching, to help you understand how to do this and make sure that you have a very sellable course. That's what we're looking to do. So ladies and gentlemen, looking at this video, if you haven't already done so, you see that there is an Ideas to Income $497 program, and you would be crazy to pay $497 when you can do the $249. So as of the release of this video, the $249 special is still good. So if you're looking at this video, scan that and see if it opens up. I would definitely say scan the $249 before you scan the $497, because if the $249 is still available, because I don't know when you're looking at this, you don't want to pay $200 more, or $248 more, I believe, if I'm doing my numbers correctly. So scan the $249 first just to check. If the $249 is not available, then I would certainly say go ahead and scan the $497. Go ahead and do that now. Even if you're not sure you're going to do it right now, I would certainly say go ahead and scan it so that it's at least in your URL section of your phone where you've got your tabs opened up, and then you can go to it at whatever you want. It won't expire. The link won't expire once you scan it. So Ideas to Income, guys, remember what you're getting. You're getting 10 weeks of coaching on Zoom, and it's one-on-one coaching. It's not group coaching. And we are here to get you through those 4 steps, show you how to do them, make sure that you've got everything created. Then we're going to help you create this course and put this course together. And if you need some of our team to put together your slide deck, like the design work, we've got people that will even do the design work for you. That is an extra cost. So understand, you're not getting the design work done. You're getting the content done. If you want the design work done, then we'll let you know when you decide you want that done. We'll let you know what that costs. And also, I'm going to introduce you to a platform to market that, and that platform will cost you $69 a month. You're not getting that from me. You're getting that from another company, which is Kajabi. Kajabi is the same platform that I use. I've been using Kajabi for over 5 years. I am an affiliate with them, so understand that if you do get Kajabi through TBD Coaching as a company, that it is an affiliate, and that company does give us a stipend for marketing it. But we don't market it just for the stipend. We market it because it works, because that's what we use. So all of our coaching courses and programs are inside of Kajabi. Our community is inside of Kajabi. Our emails come from Kajabi. So that is our all-in-one. So we use it because we love it. So it's $69 a month to have that. And we would suggest that you get that when we're going through that process, so that you've got a place to create your landing pages, make your sales, have your shopping cart, send your emails from, create your community for the people who are buying into your program. So hopefully I've talked long enough while this was up for you to be able to scan this. I'm gonna go ahead and move to the last slide here before I close out, which is just thanking you from myself, from TBD Coaching, and thanking you from Ava, which is probably the person that you'll be emailing back and forth. Ava Miller is the executive assistant of TBD Coaching and Training. So you'll see her email attached to most of the emails that you get, which is ava@tbdcoaching.net. So go ahead and email Ava, have a conversation with her, let her know what you're looking for. She'll make sure you're good. Hey guys, thank you for joining us for this webinar. Hope I didn't hold you too long. Hope the information was powerful. And if you're saying, look, can't afford the program right now, not in my budget, not a good time for me, hopefully what I went over here was enough for you to at least get started, because this didn't cost you anything but your time. So this is Coach Dunbar signing off from our Ideas to Income program. Hope you got a lot out of this. we get to see you. Hope I get to see you one-on-one on Zoom because you bought into the actual 10-week coaching program. So again, thank you for attending the webinar. And that comes from me. And it also comes from Ava Miller, our executive assistant. You have a great rest of your day, a great rest of your week. And we look forward to working with you soon.